Philippe.
Philippe Auclair of France Football. Here, Andre. You're known for the extreme thoroughness of your preparation, tactical analysis, and so forth. Now, how much have you been able to follow and prepare yourself in a way for the job you have now when you were at Porto? And have you been able to, I mean, you obviously started analyzing, the teams that you're going to face now, but have you actually spent a lot of time looking at Chelsea last season and already starting and identifying areas, maybe not in terms of players, but in terms of play and tactics, that maybe things could be changed?
No, I mean, you have to respect what Carlo left us, and Carlo left us with some amazing trophies and the Premiership done with some style, plus the FA Cup, and I mean, it's one of the best managers in the world, and we respect what he is leaving behind and the quality of the work that he did. I mean, it would be stupid for us not to absorb what he leaves us, because in the end, I mean, you should always learn from the people who are the top managers in the world, and that's what we will do. I mean, regarding the study of the game, what we do is nothing different than what the other clubs do. I mean, everybody feels confident in studying their opponents. I mean, in the end, the game is so frenetic and chaotic that anything can happen, and you can study it to the full, and the game goes the other way around. So I mean, that's what happens in this game when two organizations collide. So I mean, we are on to studying the opponents as any team does. Nothing new on that. Regarding our team, we believe that we want to give a brave input on changing the way we train. If it's going to be a brave input with good response, hopefully yes. I mean, that's the challenges that we face. I mean, in the end, we will also have to adapt to what is the English culture and what people expect us to adapt to. I mean, and we have to find balance everything. The ways that the ideas that we have, plus what is cultural from this game, which is so beautiful, and judge things from there. I mean, it's just not a question of getting here and implementing in a dictatorial way our ideas. Is also adapting and having a feel for what is going on. We are people that are very open-minded people. All of us very young, as you see, and I mean, we think, and that's why we made these choices. We think only an open-minded approach can be successful. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are many ways to be successful in football. Being a dictator or being an open-minded person, training this way or training the other way, I mean, you can be successful in football in the most various ways. I mean, this is the way that we believe, and this is what we want to sell to our players, and for sure they are willing to buy, because we respect them as they are. We respect them as a person. We want them to triumph mainly as a person, as a social role model. Because we are people that believe when they triumph as a person, they triumph as a player as well. I mean, and all of these players are professional players, are social role models. If they are able to keep that like that, they will be able to perform for us in the pitch, because the quality and the talent is there. We are also people that like to exploit talent a lot, and hopefully by freeing their decision making, we can be able to find things in their talent that they thought they didn't have. I mean, most of them are experienced enough for us to think that I mean, the talent that they have is the talent that they have, and finish. But we don't believe in that. We believe that there's something extra to give. And that's why we focus a lot on motivations and ambitions, and raising motivations and ambitions. So this is more or less the kind of the philosophy of this technical stuff, plus philosophy that I want to implement from top to bottom in all of my departments.
Let's go to Mark.
Andre, hi. Mark Fleming from The Independent. Everyone here who I've spoken to at Chelsea who remembers you from your time before says nothing but nice things about you and what a good guy you are. Are you too nice to make the hard decisions that you're going to have to make?
No, I mean, it looks like you spoke to the good people. Hopefully, the most thing for me, Mark, is to be able to judge competences. I mean, there's nothing new that there were some changes around in the structures. changes that were felt not only from me, but were felt from the structure of the club that needed to happen. The people that left are people who left this club with tremendous success, so we pay the respect to them as well here publicly. I mean, in the end, we want to create empathy between the departments, and it was stupid for me to not approach people and to feel people in every sense of the word. That's what I've been doing for the last week. It's been a pretty chaotic week, but I've been up to Stamford Bridge and up to Cobham to feel people and to show myself to people and to present myself to people. I mean, changes happen in any kind of structure, and maybe it happens in the independent when you get there into your office and you know that this person has been promoted or this person is not longer there. So it happens to the speed that the society is in, and into the changes of our actual times. So it's a pretty crazy world, but the main thing for us is to make wise decisions, and that's why we took all of this time to consider everything, and step by step we try to implement a future for this club, hopefully. And that's the challenge that we face. Hopefully the future of this club will involve us all for the next 3 years and beyond.
André, I'll just say quickly, we want to try and give everybody a chance to get a first question in. Then if we have time, then we'll have chance for follow-ups, people who have already asked a question. Let's do about 5 more and see where we are. Let's go.
André, boa tarde. Henrique Mateus, da TV. Fala-se com insistência na imprensa portuguesa nos últimos dias do interesse do Chelsea no Falcão, do Porto e no coentrão do Benfica. O que é que há de verdade nisso?
No, again, I wouldn't like to speculate on players that don't belong here. I mean, it's not fair for me. It's easy, as we spoke in this press conference, for us to move in the market where we want to. We have that kind of power, and we know, you know what the kind of moves that this club does. So I wouldn't speculate on names. I mean, all of them are interesting players from what the BBC told us, and Modric and Falcao and Coentrão. They're all of them top quality players. If they can add to the squad or not, I'll prefer to make the decision after on those or any other players that we shortlist. I mean, there's no running away from it. Everybody in first, and then decision making. At the moment, we are stopped in time regarding the market.
Okay, Tarek in the front row.
André, Tarek Panjir from Bloomberg News. You seem to have had a career that hasn't had any difficulties yet. You seem to be sort of on the up and up. Are you prepared for sort of difficult times at some point in your career? Is there someone that you can turn to in the game? Are there people you talk to? And could you tell us who they may be, who can guide you when it's difficult? Someone you can call, perhaps. Just a second question, just on the Porto issue. You said you've upset people in Porto with the way you've come here. Are you prepared to upset them again by taking some of the players here? Not naming any names, would you be prepared to bring Porto players here?
What was the first part?
The first question was about if you experience any difficulties. Yeah.
No, I mean, everything seems very easy, and every game seems very easy. I mean, it's that approach happens in any press conference to a manager of any club. I mean, you're going to play this certain team. I mean, it's going to be an easy game for you. I mean, there's no easy games, and there is no easy challenges in life. I mean, fortunately enough, at the moment, all of us were able to be successful in our careers, as most of the journalists here have been. So, I mean, that's the question. I mean, difficulties in our life we always face in our day-to-day life, and it's our able to respond to them when we are challenged when we are challenged by them. So, I mean, I just hope to be up to the expectations of the fans, because the fans expect me to deliver, and that's the story. Regarding the second part of the question, I mean, Porto players have been very, very successful last year. Most of them are in the market only activating release clauses, because Porto is a brand and a club that sells very, very expensive, doesn't want to sell, so it's reluctant to sell. And again, going back to the questions from the BBC and the questions from TVI and the Bola, these are things that we will address after, not in this moment.
You're not afraid of upsetting the fans again?
I just have to make the better decisions for my actual club. So,
Martin.
Martin Lipton from the Daily Mirror in the second bracket. When you left 4 years ago, it was after a fairly long period of problems within the club, which I think we were all aware of, between the manager and other people on the board. How can you avoid the same problems this time? Have you got had any conversations to ensure that we won't have this backdrop of problems grumbling away, which in the end undermined and forced you to leave with Mourinho?
I mean, it would be unfair to me to comment on a situation that I was not involved to the full. I mean, I was part of Jose's staff, a part of the what you say, nutmeg? A nutmeg?
Nutmeg?
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure.
I was just a year in the middle of a good, successful technical staff, and now I'm not able to respond to that question with complete accuracy. I mean, we lived. It was pretty ages when we left Chelsea on 4 years ago. I think it was after the Rosenborg game. I mean, we had a full season ahead for things to happen, and in the end, the owner decided that it was time for us to part company. I mean, it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, in the end, he has to fulfill the expectations of the fans and his expectations. So, I mean, like any other president of any other club, you have to respond to what is expected from you, and in the end, everybody decided that it was best to part company, and that's what happened. I mean, to me, it's just a question of again related to success. I mean, as long as you are successful, as long as you are able to build a platform for the future, you are up there to be the manager for the consecutive years. I mean, of course. It's a pretty unstable position in any club in Europe. English managers have this time frame of longer time frames in their positions. It has happened in Arsenal. It happened in Tottenham, and it has happened in other clubs. And people are and must be successful in their roles. I mean. It's nothing. It will be wrong for me not to judge the situations as they really are, and if uncertainty comes around, or if I'm not feeling the ambitions of the fans, I'll be the first to acknowledge that.
Rob.
Hi, I'm Rob Beasley from The Sun. Can I just clarify something that I think you said earlier about your family? You came here against the wishes of your family, is that right?
Yeah.
Why were they so scared for you to come here? Is it that they fear what might happen to you here? What did they say to you?
No, I mean, it was a question also of a comfort situation. I mean, we have passed our 7 years moving around from place to place, from Porto to London, from London to Milan, from Milan to Coimbra, from Coimbra to Porto, from Porto to London again, and I mean this in any family causes a little bit of emotional instability, and not settling in is something that happens to any family. I mean, you respond to it in various different ways, of course. I mean, I think that's the feeling that evolved most of their comments. It's something that you have to face in modern football. I mean, most of us have past experiences away from home, and in the end, I just took the decision based on this kind of individual challenge and challenging myself.